Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brickbusters. And today we're going to be talking about and featuring the next run of Nulzur's Marvelous Miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
This time we get some large minis.
Yeah, this is something they haven't really done much with the unpainted stuff. I think the only other thing that they did that was kind of larger was a campsite. They did unpainted. There might have been one other thing.
It's more like terrain-based
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Nothing
Okay.
quite like these.
Yeah. So when did these come out?
Just the other day, the 24th, 25th, somewhere in there.
So about 3 days ago. So these are
Yeah.
really new.
Yeah.
So okay, well let's go through the small ones and then we'll move on to the big ones and talk about those.
Cool.
I'll go ahead and start with one here. This is nice to see, and this is something that you don't see too often, and this is a 2-pack of Halfling Fighters. You see a lot of Halfling thieves or bandits or rogues, things like that, but just a basic straight fighter, so nice to see that. One's heavily armored and the other one not so much. So this can definitely work for one player character, one outfitted when they're just adventuring, maybe in the wilderness, and one when they're ready for battle. So that's a nice one. And the adventuring one, he's holding a torch with that clear plastic, so you can paint that and make it luminescent. Nice one.
Yeah, I like that. They tend to do a lot of action, non-action poses with a lot of these Nolzur's minis, which is cool. Plus you get 2 in a pack, which is pretty killer. Alright, I've got a Panther and Leopard. From the pack, they don't look too different. They're just kind of 2 big cats. But that's the paint job for you. One's kind of in a pounce. One looks like it's just sort of prowling in there. But these are definitely cool.
So even with the animal miniature, you have an action and a...
Yeah, exactly, in sort of a resting pose.
You know, that's what's really cool about these, is you're getting, for playability, you know, they don't do it with their painted minis so much that I've seen, although they do the A version and the B version of some.
Sure.
But they're almost both always action.
Yeah, exactly. They change up the weaponry or something, or throw in a spell effect. But
Right.
Rarely do you get the sort of like action, non-action.
But for player characters,
Oh, they're great because you can
this
swap
is great
them
for
out
that.
when you're just kind of
yeah.
adventuring
This is my
around
character
versus-
at campsite, and this is my character in the dungeon.
right when he's ready to throw down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next one. This is a hot race and class that's really gotten so popular in D&D.
Yeah.
Back in the early ages of Dungeons and Dragons, you would never play this. But this is your 2-pack for Gnome Wizard, and this is a male gnome and wizard. And one is definitely doing that. He's got the book open, casting the spell effect, and the other one he's got the staff. So another nice set there. So gnomes are hot right now.
Yeah, I dig the scope on the staff. It's got kind of a little twisty thing going on.
Yeah.
All right, and I have a male Asmar fighter. He's got one little sculpt with his wings, one without. Pretty slick little mini. Dig his little shield.
The luminescent wings.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool effect.
It is.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and I'll move on to the elf fighter. And this one, he's in a cloak on one with a flaming sword, and on the other one, he's not in a cloak, and he's got, what is that, a standard sword? Yeah, it looks like a standard sword. Hair's in a ponytail. So a couple of different images there for your elf fighter. Nice one.
Yeah, like his little like flamey sword. Pretty slick. Another Asmar fighter, although this is the female sculpt. So again, real similar to the other one. One with wings, one without. Yeah, pretty cool. She's got a cloak in one.
Nice. I wonder how popular that class is now.
I don't know. I see a lot of the minis come through.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good variety in which you can get class-wise within that race. So.
And here's another one. Up till 3rd edition D&D, this was never a class. But these are another popular,
a lot of people
or not
playing,
class, but race.
Yeah, a lot of people playing that race.
Yeah. So this is your Tiefling Warlock, and Albert pointed this out to me. This looks really
It's
cool.
a really cool sculpt.
There's one where he is summoning spell effect a zombie rising out of the ground. So
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that's always fun for sure.
Yeah, it just adds that flavor of like mid-summon It's a cool way to take the action pose for a Warlock.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Man, Nulzors, they're just, they're whiz kids, I should say.
They're killing it.
They're killing it with the sculpts,
Yeah.
These are not the minis of yesteryear.
Yeah.
So, very nice.
Yeah, some cool stuff going on.
Convenient.
And a name, I know, right? I got a nameless one here. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. We were trying to figure out what where this particular character came from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a cool little sculpt. It'd be cool to get these in the unpainted actually, because I feel like the painted one, like price point wise, is a little high for a single mini.
Mm-hmm.
So to get two with just the effort of painting them is pretty killer.
Yeah. Nice. And that brings me to a point where I'm so, and I've always been so excited about Nulzors and what's the Pathfinder Untamed?
Deep cuts.
Deep cuts is, I think the industry went through a phase with 3rd edition where the plastic mini kind of killed the metal mini,
For sure.
and it also killed miniature painting to a point.
Sure, because you could produce a mass amount of minis
Right.
that already had some color on them, so
You bought packs of minis like baseball cards
Yeah.
or magic cards, and that was it. And a lot of people got into the hobby of role playing that way, so they never learned how to paint or would appreciate the process of that. Now with Nulzors, and especially for the price, it's just amazing.
yeah.
It brings back the painting to the hobby of role playing,
Mm-hmm.
miniature painting. Okay, next set, and yeah, I'm very excited about this. I've said it before in previous videos. This is a monodrone and duodrone. This is a nice 2-pack of modrones. I love these guys, and they're different sculpts, which is this is going to be an absolute must for me to have to buy these. Love it. I'm so happy to see monodrones. And,
Yeah, the
and
monodrone looks
duodrones
really cool.
Getting the love they deserve. Finally, they used to be so shunned in old D&D until Planescape came out. And I'm telling you,
Right.
Planescape's coming back. Mark my words. But yeah, you're.
Yeah, they've been throwing drones almost in every set, like at least one, I think. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Which is going to be nice if they keep it up and actually extend the tier of drones.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Happy about that one. Very happy about that one.
Another Tiefling Warlock. This one's a female. She's got a staff and a little spell effect on one, kind of coming out. The other one looks like she's just sort of like battle ready. But pretty cool. I always like when they throw on the translucence. It adds a little bit of flavor.
And that's a whole other painting effect to
Oh, for sure.
develop too. You don't want
Yeah,
to
because you don't want to paint over it.
And
You want
just
some of that light to come
lock it
through.
out.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to ink it.
Yeah.
Okay, this set is a flesh golem set, and this one is definitely both action poses. One throwing down 2 fists, and the other one wound up for a punch. But flesh golems, common creature.
That's good in a mob, though. You want both mobs to feel like they're
Sure.
coming at you. And
Yeah, that's the beauty of this as well. Is that exact point? If you walk into a dungeon room 12A and you're going to fight a couple of flesh golems. It works when you have 2 of the same mini, I guess, but it's
Right, to
adds a
distinguish
lot
them a little
more
bit.
when they're in different poses.
Yeah.
On both ends of the spectrum, from the player, because they're getting to look at 2 different versions and can remember which is which, but also for the DM to keep track of
yeah, exactly. Which is which? Who's going
which
where.
one's taking what damage, all
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is easier to designate when you can have like hands up, flesh
Mm-hmm.
golem, hands down, flesh golem, anything to just be able to notice that at a glance. It goes a long way.
it does.
Yeah. Let's see, I got a Death Knight and Helmed Horror here.
Ooh, Death Knights.
Yeah, this guy's pretty badass.
As
It
this
almost,
should be.
yeah. Let's see, one's got, they both got shield swords. One's got kind of like a jagged, almost like a bone sword. It's pretty cool looking. Pretty
Yeah.
slick.
The beloved Death Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great monster. Okay, here you go. Now,
Oh, that's classic.
for the love of Dungeons and Dragons races, I am so glad to see that dwarves are getting good sculpts finally. and this is a 2-pack Dwarf Barbarian. And so you got one that's helmless with the nice bald head and the big beard, and then the other one has the typical 2-horn helm, you know, double-bladed battle axe. Loving seeing love come back to the double-bladed battle axe.
Yeah, there's a few things that we've seen recently that it's starting to bring that back. Yeah.
Yep, that vintage fantasy sword and sorcery.
Yeah.
A double-bladed battle axe is one of those images.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the stature looks good. The stance looks good on this 2-pack. Yeah, this is going to be a good seller in the series, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. Let's see what I got here. Looks like a female elf fighter. Those are actually pretty slick. One has considerably more armor than the other one. The other one, they both kind of look like action poses to me, but again, it's one that's very suited up and ready for
the other
battle.
one was in better favor with the queen, so you know,
right.
he gets the better stuff. You know.
Right, gets all the perks.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but that's pretty slick. I kind of like that. It's sort of to me, it's like night and day. You know, it's in the evening. You set up camp. You set your armor down.
Yeah.
And then when you're out adventuring.
Casual elf.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Non-casual.
With the elf about town.
Okay, next up, the human druid. Now, there's another, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you talk about a character class that used to be boring to play in the old D&D days, and now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to offend anybody that used to play their beloved druid back in the 70s and 80s, but okay, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty there with the memory card filling up, so we're back now, and hopefully we got everything, but we're going to move on to the large minis in the new Nulzur set. So we're going to start off with the Storm Giant, and the interesting thing about this mini is what was the name of the giant set?
It was Storm King's Thunder, maybe?
Storm King's Thunder, that's it. So in that set you got Harshnag right there.
This guy.
Well, this is basically an unpainted Harshnag. Now the sculpt is slightly different. He's leading with a different foot, his arms are in a different pose, but it's clearly that same character.
Oh yeah, down to all the little details. It's definitely the same character, just a different pose.
Right.
Actually, another cool thing I noticed about this one is that it's got a little bit of terrain on the base here.
Yeah, it comes with a black base, but
Yeah.
the base at the feet is a full sculpt that actually will cover the black base, giving him looks like some snowy terrain he's walking on, versus just the standard black base on that.
Yeah.
And the other part is that in the giant set, he's a rare, and he's expensive. You can get the unpainted version for $14.99.
Yeah.
So
It's a similar situation if you can find beholders.
yes,
Where they start at a pretty high price point. I mean, at the low end they're like $50.
they're all rares.
You can get the Nolzur's beholders considerably cheaper than that. As long as you put the time in and do the paint, which is actually kind of fun. You know, you just make it your own.
Definitely. Yeah, maybe you don't want him to look just like Harshnag, but have him in a different color. So.
Yeah.
Okay, you get one.
Oh, yeah. T-Rex. I don't even know what set you would have played this in. Maybe Tomb of Annihilation.
Tomb of Annihilation.
Would have some, because I know they have raptors.
Yeah, they do dinosaur races and
yeah.
whatnot. But in Cholt, the island of Cholt, there are T-Rexes.
Oh,
like
okay,
that. Oh, yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a T-Rex?
Yeah, yeah. It's actually decent to size. I mean, it's not
Yeah, I mean, if
towering, but
you
it's...
had them next to one of these Nameless one guys.
The PC Mini will fit in its mouth. That's what counts, right?
Exactly. That's what matters in the end.
Okay, and then the next one here, this is the Fomorian, and this one is also very similar to a previous sculpt that was in, I believe, the same set, as a matter of fact. Storm King's
Yeah, it
Thunder.
could have been, yeah, because they had a lot of giants. Yeah.
And so Fomorians do come in various shapes and sizes, and bodily mutations, so it's nice to have a little bit of a variety. I can't say that word today. There, and he's another one that actually comes with some terrain sculpt on the base. So,
They're cool little details that they've added, just like with the Warlock. You know, just little things that they're doing outside of the general figure to add a little bit of flavor. I think that's killer. And then I've got this. I always say it wrong. Remoraz. Yeah. But this is slick. I really like all the little details on it. When this guy gets painted up, it's gonna look.
That is gonna be a fun mini to paint.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great sculpt, just great texture. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
So with this new wave of Nulzurs, some large ones.
Yeah.
Nice to see that. So that's pretty much it. I think they're definitely knocking it out of the park, and can't wait for the next wave now.
Yeah, the only one that we didn't have to show is the cube, the gelatinous cube.
Gelatinous cube.
Because those sold right away.
Yep. And there's another one in previous sets, always a hard to find rare.
Yeah,
So,
and they go quick. Whenever we've had them, especially the ones that have the little detachable base. That's the thing about the gelatinous cubes. You can twist off the base, stick a little mini, and put it back together so it's kind of contained in there.
so he's trapped in there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They've been doing that with a handful of minis lately that just articulate, or you can incorporate them with other minis.
Yep.
Which is cool to see.
So since we've gone to these, whiz kids, if you're watching, let's get some dragons. We need some dragons.
I was just talking to somebody yesterday. Where are the dragons?
Where's the dragons? It's Dungeons and Dragons. Let's get some dragons. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. It's been another fun video to do, and we hope you enjoyed it. So we'll see you on the next episode of Brickbusters. I'm Duane.
This is Albert.
We'll see you again.